With their soft marshmallow topping and chocolate flake to finish, I think my ice cream cone cupcakes look fantastic, and they always remind me of summer days out. So I've started by placing the ice cream cones into a muffin tray. I've used a piece of tin foil around the bottom of each one to help stabilise them in the oven so they're less likely to fall over. I think ice creams are best when they've got that little layer of chocolate at the bottom. So I placed a square of dark chocolate into the bottom of each cone and placed it into the oven and the residual heat of it warming up, and then just melted them gently. So I'm going to leave those to harden whilst I get on with the cake mixture. I've got butter and sugar in the bowl of a stand mixer, and I'm going to cream them together on a medium speed until the mixture is light and fluffy. It's really important to make sure that your butter is soft, because otherwise it'll be really hard to get the air in there and it will take ages. So now the butter and sugar are nicely creamed together, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. It's great to use vanilla bean paste because you get the little specks of vanilla through the cake and it reminds you of that classic vanilla ice cream flavour. And then mix on a medium speed until well combined. And then add the eggs one at a time. And then mix to combine. And then when the first egg is well mixed in, just repeat the process with the next one. So now we're ready to add the rest of the flour. I've also got half a teaspoon of baking powder and a quarter of a teaspoon of salt in the bowl as well. And then combine. Now you can see when you lift up the paddle that the mixture is so thick now that it can be quite difficult to spread it into the cones. So I'm going to add a few tablespoons of milk. And I'm just going to mix in the milk until the mixture is looking a bit looser. Just leave it to beat for about 1 to 2 minutes so it's really smooth and it's well mixed. So now you can see we've got a thick and runnier mixture that will be a lot easier to spread into the cones. I'm just putting 2 small teaspoons into each cone. Most people think that using an ice cream cone it would burn in the oven, but they're really heat resistant and they add a bit of an interesting twist to a normal cupcake. So I've filled all of the cones now, and they're just going to go into the oven at 170 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. So to make the marshmallow icing, I've got golden syrup and 2 tablespoons of water in a saucepan. I'm going to add the sugar to that and mix with a spatula until it's all combined. Now I'm going to be boiling this mixture until it forms a syrup, so I'm going to put it onto a medium-high heat. I'm looking for a temperature of about 118 degrees, or the softball stage, on a sugar thermometer. Whilst that's boiling away, I'm going to start mixing the egg whites. So I've got 2 egg whites in the bowl of a stand mixer. I'm going to whisk them until they are soft peaks. So you'll notice that the egg whites change from clear to white, and now you can see it's reached the soft peak stage, because when you lift it out, they stay in a peak, but they're not really stiff like if you were making meringue. So I'll check on the sugar. So you can see from the sugar thermometer that our mixture has reached 118 degrees. If you don't have a sugar thermometer, you can tell that this has happened if you put a teaspoon into the mixture and pour it off, and you can see it runs in a steady stream. Just leave it to cool for about 30 seconds or so it's not bubbling violently when you pour it in. So I turn the mixer onto a low speed and then carefully pour the sugar syrup down the side of the bowl. It's really hot, so you need to be careful. And a very slow and steady stream goes into the egg. The hot sugar syrup is essentially cooking the egg whites. And now you turn the mixer up to a high speed and beat it for about 5 to 10 minutes until it's glossy and white. I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give it a final whisk. So now the mixture is the right consistency to go into a piping bag, and then we can start decorating. I've got my cooled cakes here, and I've just sliced the top off every single one to make sure they're completely even, so when you ice them you're not going to get any funny lumps and bumps. So I've got my icing in a piping bag, and I'm going to use it to create the classic ice cream swirl that you get on top of a cone. So to do this best, I do one blob in the middle and then go around the edge to create that classic ice cream look. I'm using a star nozzle so you get the ridges just like you would in a normal one. So I always hold the piping bag vertically so you can apply the right amount of pressure, and then when you're going around the edge, keep it vertical, and at the end just squeeze and stop applying pressure and pull it off to get that top peak. The next thing I'm going to do is top each one with a flake. I think adding a flake really helps give it that classic look that you expect from an ice cream. And a finishing touch is just a sprinkling of hundreds and thousands. So there we have it. These great little cupcakes in disguise are really fun to make, and they look like they've come straight from the ice cream van. click the subscribe button for loads more recipes.